Hello, this is Mola Mongombe, Mongaka, artist, musician, jazz, folklore genre. Happy International Albinism Day to all of you out there, my friends. Well, challenges faced being an albino. Well, a person living with albinism, I think that in my knowledge, in my own little research, I think we have two major problems. Call it problem. I call it well, nature's deficiency, or the creator being who he is, he decided to make it that way. But looking at it from the human eye, I think we have just two things that pose as a problem. The first thing we have as problem is a vision. The vision, short eyesight for most of us, not all. And the second being the skin, the lack of melanin, which makes it very difficult to cope under very hot conditions. So we feel more comfortable in cold and humid environment. So apart from those two, I don't think that personally I may say that I have some challenges. It's true, growing up, I have faced situations of discrimination and stigmatization as a kid. Going to school, children will give you names and all that stuff. It's very normal. They call you Ngengeru, they call you Mokala, they call all those, which being a small boy, we saw those things as insult. But growing up, as time unfolds, you discover that it was not meant to be any problem. It wasn't any problem at all. So talking about challenge, I think those are the two things that anybody living with albinism should concentrate on. The skin, how to protect your skin from excessive heat or sun, and to fix the vision problem, which of course we know that nowadays we can get lenses and all that stuff. So I think that those are the two. But apart from that, I will say that being an adult who I am, being Mola Mongombe, I have not had any particular problem apart from, like I said, the vision, the short eyesight, which of course, and then the skin care. But growing up as an albino had those discriminations, those stigmatization, giving of names and all that stuff. Well, how I have been able to overcome these weaknesses or these challenges. The first of all, which I talked about, the vision issue. I mean, we all know that we have doctors out there, so to fix the vision problem, it should be noted that not only people living with albinism have eye problems. There are black skinned people who cannot even take a step when you take away their lenses. So I think that it's not something that should be like a trademark for albinos, thinking that they have problem with eyes. I, for one, I went to school, from primary school to university where I had my master's. I have never put on lenses, even to read. I have never had eye problems. But growing older, doctors just advise that it is very, very proper that we put on shades to avoid too much light, which destroys the eyes, not only for an albino, even for a black skin guy, So how I've been able to overcome these main weaknesses. For the eye problem, I have my lenses. I have my lenses in my house, my reading lenses. I also have my driving lenses because I do drive. So to fix that, just like somebody with black skin, you can be able to have you go see a doctor, you get your vision correction or vision aid lenses, and that's fixed. You can see and do everything like every other black skin person. And for the skin issue, I always advise, for those who know me, if you want to see me with short sleeves, it will be during the night, at night. But during the day, I make sure that I protect that skin from any form of excessive heat. Those of you who know me, when I come to like Douala, I wear long sleeve, I wear gloves. It's true that it's some kind of style for me, it's show business, but the first aim is to protect my skin, which I value a lot, So I put on long sleeve shirts, put on gloves, protect the back of my arms. I put on muffler most of the times, like I wrap my hair and all that stuff. So that's it. That's how I've been able to sort that out, So I think that for me, there's no problem. Those two problems solved. Lenses and protect the skin. We can also get another solution, like using sunscreen lotions, before you go out of the sun. But I, for one, I grew up in a poor background, so we didn't have any sunscreen. The only thing is you have to stay away from the sun. But there are times when you can actually stay away from the sun. You have to go out, you have to do what you have to do. So you have to dress in a way that protects the skin. That's how I've been able to overcome all that stuff, you know. Well, about things that I don't do or I don't eat. Well, I think that it's a myth. I think that it's a myth about eating, because from my research, I understand that persons living with albinism have a problem with the skin, and the skin has nothing to do internally. Okay, what you eat has nothing to do with this flesh. Even for a black skin person, for example, if you have to eat, they say you are what you eat. So it must not necessarily be an albino to control your diet. But I think that I personally, from my experience, I eat everything. I eat everything and anything, and I do everything. You know, there are certain things I cannot do, not because I'm an albino, but maybe because I don't want to do them. I have played football, good football where I come from. I play music, I play guitar, I sing. So I do everything. Everything that a black skin person can do, I can do it. And I think that it has never limited me at any point of my life. Well, about support, government support. Well, I hate to say this, but it's what it is. I hate the fact that sometimes we are being considered like less privileged or handicapped people, because but I have never ever felt any less. I have never ever felt any less of a human being person with albinism. So when they talk of support government, well, I think what government can do is, well, maybe they should get free lenses, you know, create more associations of albino awareness, get lenses where they could donate to those who cannot afford to buy. Sunscreen, they could donate to people who cannot afford to buy, get to centers and hospitals, give more dermatologists to be able to check our skins and all that stuff. I think that's what government can do to be able to support, you know. And my message out there to persons living with albinism is that I grew up to understand that nothing is a mistake. God is all wise. He's omnipotent. He's omniscient. He knows everything. So God, who created us like every other person, has a reason why. And I think that my mother used to tell me, like she always say, that when they laugh at you because you look different, laugh at them because they are all the same. So do not hide under the cloak of, oh, because you're an albino, you cannot do this, you are not allowed to do this. No, you have to break all those odds. If you have a problem with vision, get lenses and you can see like every other person. I do it, you know. People used to drive me around and they had to treat me funny because at some point people think that you are dependent on them. So you have to be able to look at your weakness, work on it, and make it become a strength. So I advise all albinos out there, never feel like you are any less. You are just made different. Just like even among black people, they are not all black. They are brown skinned people, they are black people, they are fair people, they are red people. So we are not some kind of aliens, you know. So stop feeling that and don't be lazy and think that because you're an albino, so you cannot do this, you should not. No, you are just like every other one out there. So if you make yourself people to pity you, they're going to pity you real good. And if you invade the society, like I always say, like for my case, I grew up to understand that nobody's going to give it to you. Sometimes what is yours, you have to take it. So you have to be solid. You have to be solid and work on your weakness and be strong and see yourself like every other person. No self-pity. And so, yeah, happy International and World Albinos Day to all of you.